There's a certain technique that is crucial to know about if you want to be effective playing in worship, but most classical musicians have never even heard of it. In this video, we're going to talk about what that technique is and how you can use it to take your skills to the next level. My name is Matt, and if you are new here, welcome. This channel is dedicated to helping classical musicians learn how to play their instruments in worship bands and ultimately use their gifts to glorify God. Speaking of which, if you yourself are a classical musician and you want to elevate your skills in worship, check out the playlist that I have linked right here. It will teach you everything you need to know to get started, and it will also direct you to some pretty awesome free resources. So make sure you check that out. But back to the task at hand. In a recent tutorial, I mentioned a technique that gets used a ton in worship bands, but is relatively unknown to classical musicians. And that technique is called a fill. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what is a fill? According to Wikipedia, a fill is a short musical passage, riff, or rhythmic sound which helps sustain the listener's attention during a break between phrases of a melody. So essentially, when there are gaps in the melody, you can add in melodic notes of your own to fill those spaces. They're kind of like mini musical platforms that bridge the gap between pieces of the melody and ultimately help the song keep moving forward. Now, you might be thinking, Matt, fills sound awesome. I'm going to use them to fill every single melodic space in every single song. And to that, I'd say, this is where things get a little more complex. So let's now answer the question, how can you use fills? Well, the first answer to this question is the one I always give when I'm asked about when to use a certain musical technique in worship. And that's this: whenever the Holy Spirit prompts you to do so. As worship musicians, our job is to connect with God, listen to His voice, and respond accordingly with our instrument or our voice. So first and foremost, do your best to listen to what God is saying during worship and to respond accordingly. Then, on a practical level, you can generally consider using fills anytime there is a melodic space. This could be between vocal lines of a song, between phrases, or even between entire sections of a song, although that might fall more into the category of an instrumental. In most cases, the main melody is coming from the vocals, so you can generally think about any gap in singing as a potential opportunity to play a fill. Now, as with any technique, you'll need to use discernment when determining when to play a fill. First of all, other instruments like electric guitar and piano often play fills, so make sure you aren't playing a bunch of fills that step on the toes of other musicians. And second, I believe that not every melodic space in a song needs to be filled. Like I said earlier, one of our highest priorities in worship is to connect with God and listen to His voice. And at times, the Bible talks about God speaking with a still, small voice. So you can imagine that filling up every single musical space could make it harder for us to hear that still, small voice. Now, do I believe God can speak to us through the melody and when there's a lot happening musically? Absolutely I do. He's big enough to do that. But I also believe that leaving space during a song can be a powerful way to give God space to speak to us. And on the practical side, overdoing it on fills can really suffocate the melody and simply be a distraction to people who are listening. So use discernment and ultimately follow the promptings of the Holy Spirit. Okay, now we're going to take a look at an example that will show you how big of an impact fills can make on a song. First, we'll watch chorus 1, where I'm just playing low ambient notes without any fills. And then we'll watch chorus 2, which is where I do use fills. Let's take a look at the first example.
Jesus paid it all to Him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain, He washed it white as snow.
So like I said before, this chorus does not have any fills, and that really affects the character of the song here. It results in less energy and movement, which really helps us stay rooted in the words and ideas that we're talking about in chorus 1. Because this is the first chorus, this is really the first time that we're introducing the main idea of the song, so we aren't too eager to move past it. We're just dwelling in the fact that Jesus paid it all, and all to him we owe. As a side note, I should point out that fills aren't inherently a good or bad thing. They're simply another tool that you can use in the appropriate situation. In this case, I didn't want to use fills, and that ended up being the perfect effect for chorus 1. That sense of slow dwelling was exactly what I was going for in this chorus. But you'll see that in chorus 2, I really wanted to change up the character, and adding fills does just that. So let's take a look at that example now.
Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain, he washed it white as snow.
Aside from the notes I play and my dynamics, adding fills to this chorus is really the only musical difference between chorus 1 and chorus 2. Otherwise, all the instrumental parts in the band are exactly the same. Yet the character of these two choruses feels totally different. While chorus 1 felt more settled and like we were really dwelling in it musically, chorus 2 has a lot more movement. We aren't just hanging out here, we're moving towards something. That's because these fills keep the melody moving forward instead of giving it room to breathe. And the result is it feels like we're really yearning for God and driving towards the bridge. So by now, I hope you're starting to see just how impactful fills can be in worship, as well as how you can incorporate them into your own playing. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more like it, check out the tutorial playlist that I have linked here. We also have amazing resources available on our website, which is linked in the description below this video. For now though, I hope this video has blessed you and that it helps you use your gifts to glorify God. Thanks for watching.